14th, and hopefully you have a sweetie somewhere, and it doesn't have to be a regular sweetie. It could be your furry animals, your grandbabies, your friends, your neighbors. But today, share the gift of love. Be good to somebody, tell them how much you appreciate them. I think those are the greatest gifts around. So we don't do a whole lot for Valentine's Day. I usually buy some good steaks, love a good meal, and I don't have to beat the crowd. And we will be seeing the grandbabies. I made them all little treat bags. So they are my near and dear sweethearts, and that's where we're going to go see today. So my name is Colleen Magnus, and today you are creating with Colleen. So I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Chesapeake, Virginia, and I come to you live every Wednesday at noontime. So you guys can take a break and watch me create. And today we are going to use the Lighter Than Air suite from Stampin' Up! It's a great suite. I've actually used it to make Valentine's treats the last 2 weeks, but we're actually going to use it with everything in the suite, the designer paper, all the embellishments, and I think you'll like the card. I'm actually going to show it 2 different ways because my original inspiration came from Jill Olson, a demonstrator out in Utah, and the way she did it, it used up more designer paper. I really like it, but I needed a way to create at least 26 of these cards for my stamp clubs and different people. So I'm going to show you a way that uses less designer paper, 2 different patterns. I'll show you the best way to get the most out of your pack of paper. But anyways, I'm just glad you're here with me today. So a couple things. I'm going to boot up the screen so I can watch my comments on the laptop. And I always have this terrible shadow when I create because I have can lights in the stamp room. So somebody said, well, turn your lights off overhead and just have your lights on where you're creating. So I'm going to try that, and I want you all to give a shout out. I don't think it'll be too dark. I think it'll actually work. Let me know how you like it. So let me turn my lights off, and I'll turn my camera down. Because I wasn't too sure. I guess it's not too dark with me here. Maybe next time we'll just start with them off. So let me turn you around. But again, I hope you're all having a good day. It's beautiful in Virginia today. We're getting some really cool nights, but beautiful days in the 50s. Cannot complain. I think our chances for snow are little to nothing, but who knows? Maybe next year. All right, so I hope this is bright enough for y'all. If not, we're just going to keep working at it until we get it straight. So, windy Wednesday. Oh my goodness, Kathy, it was windy here yesterday, and our tides were huge. We couldn't get into the neighborhood, so thankfully I was already in, so I just didn't worry about going out. Renee is here, Mary Kay, windy Maryland. It is. Y'all are getting our wind from yesterday. So Renee just ordered the balloon suite as a birthday present. Well, happy birthday, Renee. I think you made a good choice. And Diane is here. Let me see. Evelyn, I'm so glad you all come. Hey, Sally. So good. Everything says they look good. Evelyn, Carolyn, great. Well, we are going to create, let me see that, using this suite. So it's on page 32 and 33 of your mini catalog. And I love that the colors are pastels. I'm not a huge pastel fan. I'm definitely a Regals kind of girl. I love those. But after Christmas, I really like the spring colors. So this is a great choice. And I'm going to show you in real life what we have here. So for starters, you have the hot air balloon. And this is a stamp set. It is a photopolymer stamp set. And it works together, which is wonderful. It's like you have your balloon here, and all these little bands can fit in the middle, so you can switch colors very easily. And then, of course, some really cute little sayings. So with that, you have your dies. These are the dies, and y'all know to go ahead and trace them before you pull them up. Magnetic sheets work great too, but if you want to keep them in here, I trace them so I know where they all go back. Because it's worse than a Rubik's Cube if you don't. You never get them straight. So these are the dies, and when you look at the actual suite in the catalog, the dies will cut this balloon, and this one cuts the buckets. So there are stamped images for that. Then you have this really cute banner to put your images. And then there's some standalone dies in there too. This is the one, and these two here that I have been using for Valentine's Day. They saved me in a pinch. So after the bundle, you have the 6x6 designer series paper. And the nice thing is you actually get 8 sheets of each because it's a pack of 48 sheets that is 6x6. So these are your colors. Lots of fun. Let me show you those real quick. And again, that's just what I love about Stampin' Up! Is that the cardstock coordinates with the designer paper, with your embellishments. Makes you look like a pro, even if you're not. Here we go. So that's your designer paper. And then you have the twine. This is a baker's twine. So this is really, really great stuff. Love that. And you get, my goodness, I think you get like 10 yards, 3 spools, and a 10 on each, I believe it is. So really good. Let me see if it says it in the catalog before I steer you wrong. Yes, 3 spools, 10 yards each of Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lolly, and Balmy Blue. And then we have the adhesive back dots. So I love that the adhesive is already on them because I have trouble with little pieces, so it really makes it easy. And those colors come in Flirty Flamingo, Pool Party, Petal Pink, Lemon Lolly, Azure Afternoon, Bubble Bath, Balmy Blue, and Fresh Freesia. So everything you need to create and have everything coordinate. So for our card, let me show you the card we're making. This is what I went ahead and made because I had to, I was doing this for my stamp clubs and for others, so I had to alternate the 2 different papers to get enough out of them. But then I'm going to show you at the end a way to do it with 1 sheet of designer paper. So for this card, let me tell you the measurements. Let me see. Who said this? Evelyn says, normally I like the bright colors, but this collection, the pastel colors are really nicely coordinated. They really are, Evelyn. And I am color challenged, so I love that Stampin' Up! Puts this all together for me. If I'm ever trying to put colors together, I just pull out the pack of designer paper and it shows me all the colors that go with it. So this is Bubble Bath. This is 6.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 2 1/4. Then I have, for my inside, a 4" by 5 1/4" piece of basic white. I have 2 pieces of the lighter than ear designer series paper, which is 2" by 5 1/4". And you can see they're totally two totally different pieces. So I was able to get 3 out of each sheet of 6x6, which really worked out great. It gave me 24 cards that I can make out of the 1 pack, compared to the 8 cards I could make out of the way I'm going to show it to you next. So one of the things, let me put this here. We'll do this part first. With my designer paper, I'm just going to fold on this score line, and I'm going to give it a nice crease. So I want to put my balloons on my left side. And I'll use my liquid glue so I can slide them around to get them right where I want them. Okay. And I like to open it up so I can see it nice and flat. So there's my first piece. Now my second piece, I'm going to put it right on the basic white. But I want to stamp it first. And the reason I'm not going to attach it and stamp it, because you know how that goes. If you don't like it, or it's crooked, or you mess it up, you already have this attached. So I just kind of lay it on there as a template. And I'm also going to use my Stampin' Up! Paper Pierce mat, because this is a photopolymer stamp set. And the photopolymer is fantastic. You can get a very thin image because it's a harder plastic. It doesn't give as easily as the red rubber, the cling stamp, but at the same time, you want to have a little bit of something underneath it that could give so that it gets on there evenly. A lot of times if you've got a great flat table, you're okay, But I know a lot of us stamp on those vinyl white tables. I know I do when I stamp with my stamp club at the church. And they're not as forgiving. You need something underneath it. So I'm just going to take this, line it up here just so I kind of have my spacing. And I'm going to take the Wish Big. We should all wish big on our birthdays, shouldn't we? I think so. And you should have lemon cake, my absolute favorite. Lemon anything. So I'll just put this here. So I'm going to wish big for a big lemon cake. And then I will put this on the side. And my husband's the big chocolate person, so we get along great. You can have the majority of that. Although I will say, I'm good with not having chocolate till you put it in the refrigerator. The minute you put my M&Ms and my Kit Kats in the refrigerator, it's all over with. Okay, then they're great. So I have my piece here. And now's the time, if you're slightly over, you want to just go ahead. I'd rather be slightly over and trim than under and see a little gap of white. And since this was actually 5 1/4, I had 6 inches. I had plenty of room to go ahead and trim that a little bigger. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the inside of my card. You notice I don't use a ton of the liquid glue. It's so strong. It's really, really strong. So you don't need to use it like the Elmer's glue we did when we were kids, where it just squirted out everywhere. Good little lines. Okay, so this part, super, super easy. Now, when I go to make the balloon, there were some tiny parts, and I told you I struggle sometime with that. But everybody has been saying whenever I put my glue, I have a light hand, so it's easy for me to work with the liquid glue. But everybody would say, use the adhesive sheets, use the adhesive sheets. So guess what? Today we're going to use the adhesive sheets, and I have to admit, it's very smart to use the adhesive sheets. It's awesome. So really, what you're going to do, I want to show you how you actually use them to put this on, because I did not have to glue that. What you're going to do, these are the adhesive sheets. They're on page 138 of the regular catalog, the annual catalog, and they're $11.50, and you get 12 6x12 adhesive sheets. So what I did, I just cut a piece down to fit my cardstock. So this is like, I don't know, 2 by whatever, 2 by whatever you want, because I'm just using this to cut with. And then what I'll do is it says peel here. I love directions like that. I just peel this off. And then I'm going to take my cardstock and I could just put it on the bottom here. And again, I'm just cutting on this, so however it works is fine. It's my scrap. And just push down really well. Let me see. This is that little piece on the edge. So when you push down well, these two are actually glued together. Now what I'll do is I'm going to take my die cutting machine and actually cut with this. Cut the pieces out. So I'll take my die cutting machine, put it in here for you to see. I'm going to grab my dies. So I'm using this one here. Excuse me. Then I'm going to put my plates in. So, of course, the number 1 base plate, the number 2 die cutting plate, because we need that little bit of thickness, my acrylic plate. Then I'm going to take my cardstock here, and I will put my die on. Now, some of the times when I have something this intricate, I'll also put a piece of wax paper between the cardstock and between this. And I actually do that if I'm cutting out a lot of them, because it leaves a little bit of a waxiness on the die and it pops out easier. So we'll see how this one does. It should be fine, but once you do that, you could probably go 4 or 5 times before you do it again. But all little tricks that make it easier when you're cutting your die. So I'm just going to put this on top, make sure that I'm even, and then I'm going to go through, and I can even come back. Okay. Then I have my die piece. And one of the things I like to do, I have one of our old cases, and this is the Pick-a-Tool, the little brush here. So this kind of, you put it in here, pops a lot of that out, and then you can even take the, I've got the stylus on the other end, put these through a couple holes and that pulls out. So with all those little pieces, when you do your little brush, that makes it so much easier. And I could poke these little dots out right here, but I'm going to pull the adhesive back off first because a lot of times it will come off with that. And this, incidentally, if you wonder what this mat is, I have the clear block case that Stampin' Up has. And so you can get different mats and you could use that. And that's the foam mat there. So now that I have this, let me get my other parts in here. I already have those done. To build our balloon, this was from earlier. I'm just going to take, really need to put, let me see, is this on here? No, that's my stylus one. I actually have two of these. I don't have to keep changing them all, so I'll use this. But remember, this was with our adhesive sheet. So I can just come in here and pick the adhesive up. And just so you'll know, it comes right up when y'all aren't watching. Here we go. And see how that peels off? That's your adhesive sheet right there. And the tape is already on there. So that's nice and gluey, and I don't have to put a liquid glue. And when I put this on here, I even the sides. That's kind of how I know. Someone said, how do you know how high or how low to put this? Make sure you're even on your sides. And then that's the beginning of my balloon. But I do think the adhesive sheets, a lot of times they use them for like the swirly words and letters, which I just bought some. I can't wait to break into those. But it's great for these tiny pieces where you have trouble doing glue. Now, if you don't have that, I didn't put it on this piece because when I put this piece on, it hangs off. So I thought, okay, here's your fix. If you want to put it on this piece, I think I would have put it on here so these would have stuck. Then I would turn it over and I would get, you know those little pounce pads when we emboss? It's like a real thin powder you put on for you emboss, or baby powder. I think I would just tap it on the bottom and then all this wouldn't be sticky. You can do that, or you can take your craft and rubber mat, because the glue won't stick to that, and just put a thin little bit of glue on the top. And you could put it on here, but to be honest with you, this glue holds so well, it's not necessary. And then I'll show you my trick, because a little of the glue might get on the edges, and I'll show you that. So when I take this, I also found it's better for me to like line things up straight when I'm trying to put something on, because when I have it like this, guess what? It's usually a little bit crooked, because you just need to see the full how it goes straight on. So you don't have to cock your head to make it straight. So when I have that, see how there's a little bit of glue? I just have a damp paper towel. It's not wet, it's just damp, and it picks all that glue up. Your paper is just slightly moist, but then that dries. And then there is how, two different ways how you can glue something that's really thin. So moving on, I'm going to set this over there. I'm going to, let me put this, I got that there. Let me put the bucket on. Now they have two sizes of buckets, and I could use a small one, but it is really tiny. This one's a little bit bigger, and it's really so if you didn't even have that part on, you could put it like this, or I want to back something under this little bucket so that it stands out more. So when I put it on here, let me see if y'all can see this. When I put it on here, I mean, I could do that and it sticks up, and I don't want that brown stuff on the top. So I'm just going to take my scissors, And I'm just going to snap off a little bit. Like that. A the little edges, that's so small, you won't even see it on your floor. So I'll turn it over. Want to make sure that it fits and it's not sticking over the top. Perfect. And there again, I'll just take a little bit of my glue. A little bit on the edge. I'm so glad I'm finally using this balloon set as a hot air balloon and not Valentine's. Although again, it saved me. It saved me in a pinch. So I put that on there. So when I turn it over, then that stands out. The lemon lolly stands out because I have pecan pie is in the back. Alrighty. And by the way, this is fresh freesia. So fresh freesia, lemon lolly, pecan pie. Our blue is balmy blue. So let me check my notes here. Let me see. So, yeah, the colors are great. Hello, Mary from Indiana. Oh, well, good, Diane. You'll have to order it as a Valentine's gift to yourself. Yes. It'll last so much longer than those chocolates we always buy. So, Cindy, I'm glad you're here. She's out running errands. Yeah, very good. And Sally, thank you, Sally. So I always try to give like some tips and tricks as we create together. I'm an old dog. I've been around for a while. So whether they were tips from 20 years ago or recently, chances are I forgot them from 20 years ago. So it's always good to revisit them. So here I have my mat. I'm going to take my balmy blue and my hip hip hooray. It's your birthday. I'll put this in here. It's hard getting it straight when you're not right on top of it. So I got hip hip hooray. Today is your day. Do we have any Valentine's birthdays or February birthdays with y'all who are here? Mine is actually in June. So I got a little bit to go. So with my banner, I want to put it on top and I want to pop it up, but don't put your dimensionals on here because it's very possible they could be hanging off the edge. You don't want them hanging off. So what I'll do is I'll take some of the mini dimensionals and I'll put them actually on the balloon. So I got like 1, 2, 3. That'll be plenty. And I pull my little paper pieces off. Oh my goodness, my tummy's growling. Hope y'all didn't hear that. And then I'll just put this on here. When I do, I'm going to cover up that bottom line, but I want the scallop above it. So once again, make sure you're straight. Close enough, we'll have to count. And there I have my balloon. Now the twine, you know, we told you the twine, lemon lolly, balmy blue, and flirty flamingo. I already tied the bow, because you know how it is when everybody's watching you. You get, your fingers go numb, and it's the hardest thing you'll do all day. So I'm just going to pick up a glue dot. And I just need a little one there, so I'm just going to kind of ball it up right at the top here. And then that's kind of cool because it also makes it stick out a little bit. And I just put my little ribbon on. And then this part's done, and I'm able to put it on my card. So for the card, of course, it's going to go in the middle, and you really only need the 2 dimensionals on this side. So for 1, 2, and my card is almost done, and I'll check my comments, and then I'll show you the other way. I love the other way too. Again, I just had to figure out how to get as many cards as I could out of the designer paper that I had. So here's the card. This is your first one. Of course, we need some, let's put some embellishments on there. Hello. So with all these beautiful colors, I am going to, which one do I want? Let's go with, I don't know if this will be too big. Let's see. It's kind of big. It would probably work just fine, but I want my hot air blue to be the star of the show. So I'll put that there. Yeah, I like the smaller better, I think. And that there. Now my card's complete. So that is how I did them for my stamp club, to where you're going to get, again, what did I tell you, 24, because there's 2 inches. You get 3 out of each sheet of 6 by 6, and then 3 out of the other one. So I'm actually using the 2 designs. So my inspiration came from Jill Olson. She's actually demonstrator number 5. She's been around longer than most anyone. Not everyone, but most everyone. And here's what she did for her card. Let me show you. Well, wait, I told you I'd check my comments. Let me see. Oh, how do you change these contacts? Oh, Carol said the best gifts she gets are the ones she gives herself. Well, Carol, you know exactly what you want, so I think I have to agree with that. Very good. And Evelyn says she puts some glue on the mat and then puts it on with a sponge. That does work too. Good suggestions. Oh, Kathy's daughter is February 18th. So that is good. Oh, Renee's a leap year baby. I didn't realize that. Good. So you will be celebrating your birthday on your birthday. I think you are, right? So, all right. Yes, Kathy, good idea. She said this would make a great new arrival for a baby. That is so true. And the colors are great. You can make these ahead of time, because whether it's a girl or a boy, it's a win-win, because we have all our colors in here. So thanks for the great ideas, y'all. I love having you in the stamp room. So let me show you the other way of doing this. The way Jill did it, there's the piece of designer paper. It's just one designer paper. And y'all know Stampin' Up! Has the best designer paper because it's a nice weight and you can have the front and back coordinate. So she has a 6 by 5 1/4 inch sheet of the lighter than ear, and we score it here. This is scored at 2 inches. So let me show you that to see it even better. So that is scored at 2 inches. Then she has a piece of 1 3/4 by 5 inch of basic white, and then just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 sheet of bubble bath. So again, y'all can take screenshots. I also took measurements, so give me less than 24 hours and I'll put it on our Facebook page, because I even took pictures of the projects already. We're going to go this afternoon. It's been a week, but you know, it can always be so much worse. My washing machine broke. We thought it was all the coins and paper clips Danny got out of there, but it wasn't. Thought it might have been a little motor. He really thought it was a transmission. Well, guess what? It was a transmission the whole time. And before I put a $200 transmission in a 9-year-old washer, we will shop President's Day this weekend and get a new washer. And then Saturday, I was at Reginella's eating some French bread with my dear customers I've been with over 21 years, and my back tooth broke. So that was no fun, but praise God it doesn't hurt. So, you know, that's the best thing. So I go in tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll be the new owner of a crown. So as long as they can fix it, I don't worry about it. Just not looking forward to it. So anyways, going forward, what you're going to do is this is actually going to go on there, and that gives you your look of our card, just like that. Different designer paper, but again, I love how the front and the back coordinate. So I'll put my adhesive here. So this is quicker, but again, you would only get 8 cards instead of 24. But then when I see it like this, I'm like, oh my goodness, what are our other designer papers? That would be gorgeous to do a fold where you see the front and the back all as one piece. Now for here, this was where she had to stamp her white. So I'll go back to my Wish Big and my Balmy Blue. Yeah, so I guess that's what I'm getting for Valentine's Day, is a crown. Not the kind I can wear on my head, just in my mouth. Oh well. Then with this here, I have the Wish Big. And a little bit of adhesive. So this, you do want to line it up on the side here. Do a quick fold to make sure that it's covered. But basically the distance I had here, I just put towards the score line. So you have that. By the magic of television, ba-bam, my balloon's already done. So I'll put my dimensionals on here. This is like record time, but of course it's because the balloon's already done. So I want y'all to try this. This is your challenge. I want you to do a card that uses the designer paper front and back. There you go. So this was my inspiration, as I said, from Jill Olson. And then this is the card that I created simply because I had to get as many as I could. 8, 24. So those are my cards today. I don't want y'all to forget, though, that celebration is still going on through the end of the month. We have the whole catalog. I checked the inventory status report, and it is available. And then Stampin' Up! Came out with the additional supplies that you can get. The $30 value designer series paper that you can get for a $50 order for free. And then also the new core markers, $38.50 that you can get free with a $100 order. So you would already know all this if you receive my newsletter. And if you don't, please go to creatingwithcolleen.com to get that newsletter. Please give me a little thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate that. Share if you liked what you saw. I'd appreciate your support and let others know. And let me, again, just take a look at my comments here. So let me see. I think that's pretty much it. Yes, please give a thumbs up. And I love the idea of the baby card. But thank you, y'all. Thank you for joining me. We will be together again next Wednesday at noontime. So I hope you have a blessed week. If you are ordering, please use the host code up here in the corner. And let me know what you thought about the lighting. It doesn't look as good. In fact, you know what? Let's turn the lights on and see what you think. So this was, what you had was with the lights off. I'm going to watch my video. And then this is with the lights on. So we will see. But I'm going to figure it out. Oh, it's definitely a lot brighter. But see, I have those two shadows. So I'm in the market for some new lights. I'm debating if I want the ones that clamp to your table or just go on the table. But we're going to be trying to work on this setup a bit. I do think it's brighter with the lights out. Oh, Evelyn says put the lights off. She likes the lights off. All right, well, we'll figure it out. I thank you all for being patient. And again, I just appreciate your support. And I hope you all have a blessed day and happy Valentine's Day. Take care now. Bye-bye.